Adam Schayek here in Real-Time Neurology. Joining me today is Dr. Alex Ng, an exercise science professor at the Marquette University in Milwaukee. Dr. Ng, can you tell us a little bit about multiple sclerosis and exercise?
Sure. In a very short answer, I can say yes, good.
Okay.
So-
Could you elaborate a little?
Yes. Well, we now know that contrary to what was thought, let's say 20, 30 years ago, exercise is not only safe, but it's also very effective for persons with MS to both increase strength, increase cardiovascular capacity. There's evidence that shows that it can alleviate fatigue, and it may in fact improve cognition. It's really a wide open field, and there are some that are even suggesting that it may have immunomodulatory effects.
Wow, that's fantastic. And could you also tell us a little bit about, for both people with multiple sclerosis and maybe clinicians working with them, what to expect with exercise, kind of in general? Let's say cardiovascular exercise, for example.
What to expect kind of depends on the starting point.
Sure.
So if you have someone that's a little hesitant, not currently exercising, you may want to start this person slow.
Sure.
Actually, people tend to really like resistance exercise. I'm a big cardiovascular person, but with resistance exercise, after a couple sessions in a gym or strengthening at home, whatever, strengthening exercises at home, you can expect to see improvement. People feel good. Your arms are pumped, after your even first session. So that tends to be a good entryway. Resistance exercise is recommended twice a week. I would definitely add cardiovascular measures, again, starting slow, and build up from there, and not to get away from the fact that really physical activity is important. So exercise is great, and by exercise I mean something that's structured, that can be prescribed, duration, frequency, intensity, but the bottom line is to be active. And then as to a general recommendation, I don't know if I can give one of those without knowing a person individually.
Of course. And finally, just for those at home who may not know, can you talk a little bit about temperature and temperature regulation for persons with multiple sclerosis?
Sure. Many people with multiple sclerosis or MS are highly temperature sensitive. Most people are sensitive in the hot direction. There are some people who are sensitive in the cold direction. And this brings on what I often refer to as symptomatic fatigue. So you just cannot get going anymore. There are several reasons for why this may occur. It could be an alteration in the actual physiological regulation of temperature. Luckily, there are ways around this. So if you're going to start an exercise program or trying to be physically active, if you're going into a room, make sure that it's air conditioned. Right. A lot of people drink slushies prior to exercising. There's actually one study I know where you literally, in a bathtub full of ice for what we call pre-cooling. So if your body temperature is lower to start with, you have a longer period of time to get to where you're too hot.
Right.
So those are some suggestions. People use cooling vests, and it is definitely something to be aware of if you're going to start exercise per se, because you do work up sweat,
right.
And you do get hot with exercise. So there are measures you can do to try and counteract that.
Dr. Ng, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you at home for listening. Real-Time Neurology.